I took a bunch of video as I was turning this chunk of log into this mantle made of concrete, made to look like wood. And so I thought I'd just share all the images I have. And so this was way too big to put on my miter saw, so I had to put it in my bandsaw. Now this piece of wood is just wet enough to actually rust my steel table, as well as this log here, which is also obviously wet, or at least moist, damp, comparatively to the steel. So the steel drew the moisture out of it and turned it into rust. Yay! Anyway, so here I am making the mold box, and here is the mold box. Now there's a lot that has to happen to this, lots that has to happen, but the basics are you make a box and then you put in foam, and that foam is going to take up space so I don't have to fill the whole thing with concrete. And if you notice, the edges are beveled, and they're beveled so that I can hang it on the wall as a mantle using a cleat. So I don't have any of the actual casting, but here's me just screeding off the top of it. I thought it was kind of cool because I was chopping pretty fast, but when I brought it into this, when I speed it up, it looks kind of like I'm hovering over it. I thought that was kind of neat. So now I'm removing the backer that kept the foam from floating out, because yes, the foam will float out of the concrete if I don't hold it down. And then we've got to grind. I'm going to grind some more just to make sure it's very, very flat. Again, this is the surface that is going to be going against the wall. You see that one black screw down there? I had just enough screws with star bits to leave me with one screw that had to be a Phillips head. Anyway, so the thing is that before I could even do any of this, I had to do a bunch of testing to see how it was going to work out. And I spent about a month in testing, doing castings and colorings, because when it comes to the client, I only want to have to do this one time. So here I am removing one of my earlier samples as well, and taking the end off it to show the wood grain, and grinding it all down just to make it flat on the back. This was just a sample, so I did not have the bevel on the words. Ooh, look at that. That's cool. All right, so now you can really see the wood grain and how it showed up, and how I transferred it from the top to the side. Front looks good, that looks nice, but this is not what wood looks like. That is not, yeah. Anyway, so then once I knew how I was going to cast it, I had to figure out how I was going to color it. So I went through a couple of different dyes, sample after sample after sample, and then so here's a few of the samples I did. And this is just to make it look like wood. And then I had a conversation with the client, and she did not want any of the colors I had already made, so I had to go ahead and start testing with a different type of colorant, a different type of pigment, a different stain, or a dye. And so, all in all, what I found was really cool is that in this example here, you put the black on. When you pull the black off, it just makes everything pop really, really cool. Like, and this right here is actually the color sample that was requested of me. Boom, that's what she liked. Up to this point, I still haven't cast the project yet, because sometimes there's some finicky stuff that needs to happen. And anything that is an impression in the wood is going to be an expression in the concrete. And so I had to fill this in with wood glue, sprinkle a little bit of wood chips over top of it, and then press that in and try to make it, not such an impression. Now here, this impression was a knot, but what I did is I used glue to make it an expression so that it would be an impression when it got to the wood. And here is the final product. And you can see that looks like wood to me, especially in this picture. Look at that. The detail is amazing when I look at this. I just love it. So this is what it is to make a mantle that won't burn. Put it on top of your, wherever you want it. You want something else to look like wood? Let me know. And thanks for watching.